Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the Caden Games YouTube channel. My name is Caden, and today we've got the 7th tutorial in the Roblox beginner scripting tutorial series. Today I'll be teaching you all about functions, which is quite an advanced topic, so I will leave some timestamps below. If you do have any questions, make sure you do leave them in the comments, as I do respond to all of my comments, and if you do find this helpful, make sure you do like and subscribe. Okay, let's get started. So before we begin, make sure you do have the output open here at the bottom. You can open that just by going to view, as well as the explorer and properties. I don't think we'll be needing properties today specifically, but let's start. So create a script inside server script service, like always. First of all, what is a function? So a function is sort of a way that you can block out your code, so you can call that code later, if that makes sense. I will explain to you how you do it. So let's type local here again, just like when we do variables. I will be explaining why you need local in the next video when we talk about scope. So let's do local function. Just don't worry about local for now, just type local function. And then here's where you put your function name. So let's do function name and hit enter. And it's gonna give you this default syntax. I don't usually like to have a space there. It doesn't matter though. Okay, in here is where you're gonna put your code. So let's do just a simple print statement of hi. Okay, so we have a function here called function name. I'm gonna just call this print. And there we go. So how do you call a function? To call a function, all you're gonna do is type your function name followed by an open and a closing parentheses. So let's try running the game now, and if that would go away. Okay, so if we run the game here, you can see that we get hi in the output, and so that's perfect, or that our function did run. So that is the basics of a function. Let's make this do something a little bit more exciting. Let's call this, we'll keep it called print, doesn't really matter, and then we'll put function ran successfully. Okay, so that's what we'll put there, and then let's do actually a variable at the top here for spawn is game.workspace spawn location, and we are gonna do here spawn. Oh shoot, I keep forgetting to do that. So spawn is actually, there's something called the spawn function, which I can probably teach you about in the future. So you can't use the word spawn because it's already a keyword. So spawn location dot brick color equals, and we learned how to do this not too long ago. We'll do brick color dot new really red. It's a good one. So now when we run our function, it should print function successfully ran, or function ran successfully. And it should also change the brick color to really red of the spawn location. And you run the function again by putting the function name followed by the two parentheses. Let's see. And there we go. It works. We have a red spawn and we have function ran successfully in the output. So that is the basics of a function, but they get very, very in-depth from here. So a good use for a function is, say, this is kind of a bad example, but say you wanted this to run a couple times. You can do like this and paste it in here. And we will be learning about loops soon, so we won't have to do this anymore. But say we do this. That's a lot faster than, and a lot neater than having like this code every time. Like instead of having that, just having the function is easier. And also you can what's it called, undo things by pressing Ctrl-Z or Command-Z if you're on a Mac like me. So yeah, that would work, and that's basically why you want to use functions, but they do get a lot better from now on. So let's learn about what a parameter is. And okay, so what is a parameter? A parameter is sort of like a variable that you can set something different every single time you call the function. So inside of these parentheses here, I had a hard time learning parameters when I first started learning about functions, so I will try my best to teach you. Let's put string in here. So you see how that's not an actual string because there's no quotation marks. That's because it's a parameter. So we could put string 2, string 3, and you can put as many parameters in here as you want. So say we have those parameters there, and just put a space right here. There we go. So those are our 3 parameters. So now let's do print, and we can reference these just like we would in a variable. So let's do print string. I put sting. Oops. Put print string 2, and print string 3. Oops. String 3. So what you can do now, since we have those parameters up here, and we will be using functions more in this series once we start making an actual working game, let's run the function by typing print parentheses. So you know how we have these parameters here. This lines exactly up with what you put in these parentheses. So let's put actual strings now. Let's do 3 of them. Okay, perfect. So if you can see, this first one here aligns with string 1, or just string without a number. This one aligns with string 2, and this one aligns with string 3. You can add like string 4, string 5, and we just put more parameters here. So let's do something here. Let's do hello, hi, and hey. So those are all of our parameters, and you can change those every single time you call the function. So let's do this. Wait about another 3 seconds, and then we'll do another print A, B, I forgot to put that in quotes, B and C. So that's more parameters. Each time you call the function, you can change the parameters. So I'm sure you can guess what this will do. But if you see it prints hi, hey, and hello, and then 3 seconds later, ABC. So that's why those are pretty helpful, because you can set it every time to something else. So say we wanted it to print the player's username, and you can't get the player's username in this script. You would put that in your your event, which we'll be learning about soon. So then you could change it every time, and you can give new data to the function each time. So let's try the same concept, but with some brick colors. So let's just get rid of all this. Okay, and as well as all this. So let's change this. Okay, let's just delete it all. So let's do local function change color, and here we're gonna do brick color. Oh geez, it's in all caps. Brick color. Okay, so as you know, so now let's do spawn location dot brick color equals brick color. And actually, good practice here would be by putting this in an if statement to see. Actually, I need to fix this because that's brick color. There we go. A good practice would be by putting this in an if statement to see if it exists. So let's do if brick color. And you can do if statements like this. That's just going to check if brick color equals true or if brick color equals or exists. But what we are going to want to do is if brick color equals nil, then, and nil, by the way, if you don't know, nil means nothing. So it means that it's equal to nothing, or the script can't access it. So if I did game.workspace.part1, if you see in workspace, there's no part 1, so that would be equal to nil. So that's why we're checking if it's equal to nil, and then we'll say else, which we did learn this, as you do remember. So let's say else here, and now we're going to do spawn location dot brick color equals brick color. And now let's call this function down here. Let's do wait 1, and then do change color, and let's do, as this does require a brick color value, we can do like this, really red, and then wait 1, change color, brick color dot new, let's do brown, or actually let's just do black. There. So as you can see, this is just basically a variable, a parameter is basically just a variable which you can change each time you call the function. And this should make sense to you. If you do have any questions about it, though, like always, please do leave them in the comments. Okay, let's see. So it's red now, and it's black. So it worked perfectly fine how we wanted it to. So say you wanted it to be blue at some point in the script, but then red in some other part, and you didn't want to have to put all this code, it would be a lot faster just to use a function. So that's basic functions. Like I said, we'll use them a lot more once we start making some other stuff. But let's learn about returning in functions now. So returning is basically how you get a result in a function. So you can check what the function is equal to, I guess, kind of. So by returning a function, what you first need to do is in this function, you simply write return here. And I will be going over this again, probably, because it is kind of an advanced topic, and it was hard for me to learn, so it might be hard for you to learn as well. Let's return the brick color that we... let's do return brick colored... Can you do brick color.name? I believe so. Let's just do return brick color.name. So that's going to return this value that we specify is name. So it should return really red. So now that exists, it has returned it. If we run the function, oh look, nothing else happens. It's the exact same as before. It goes red and then waits a second and then turns black. So when you return something, you need to capture what you returned, and you can do stuff with it. So to capture what you return, you're going to set a variable equal to the function. So let's do local color 1 is equal to this function, and then let's do local color 2 is equal to this function. And then we're going to go here and do print, and as you probably can expect what I'm going to do, print color 1, and then down here let's do print color 2. So to recap, when you return, you're going to return a specific value. So you might do math in this function. Actually, I'll give that example in a second. And then you could return the value of that math so that you didn't have to do it in the script. And then you can capture that return by making the function equal to a variable. And then you can do stuff with that. And when you set the function equal to a variable, it's still going to run the function, by the way. So that was something that was tough for me to understand. So if we see here, there you go. It prints really red, and then it prints black, because that's what the function returned. Let's give one more example of this before we end the video. And it's a math example is probably a good one for this scenario. Let's get rid of all of this, and let's use all of the knowledge that we have so far. So local function math, or let's call it multiply, is equal to num1 and num2. And those are our two parameters, as you know. And let's do local result is equal to num1, not plus, we're multiplying here, num1 times num2, which you should know how to do this. And then we do return result. And if you do remember, try pausing the video and try printing out what that result is equal to after we returned it. So hopefully you did pause the video, and if you got this correct, what your code should look like, something like local math result, or you could set this to whatever you want, equals multiply. Let's do 2 and 3. And then we're going to do print math result. And so it should print 6, because if you see in this function, we're multiplying it and then returning the value of what result equals, which would be num1 times num2, and num1 is 2 and num2 is 3. So we should get 6 in the output. And we do. That's perfect. So that is basically how functions work. So to recap, we learned about function syntax, which would just be that you need local, and then you type the word function, then you type the function name, and then you put 2 parentheses, and then an end will appear once you hit a new line. So that's the syntax of the function. And then we also learned about parameters. I think that's how you spell it. And a parameter, if you remember, is when you put something in here. If you do name and then end and then print name, when you call the function of name, you can pass in a string or any value. Like we could pass in an int here, or we could pass in a string of Caden, and then that will print my name, because that is what parameters do, is you can change them each time. So there you go, you get Caden in the output. Perfect. So that is what parameters are. And then we also learned about returning, which is quite advanced topic. So I will be doing another video on that probably, or another video that features returning. Return, and then we'll just make a parameter called value, and then we'll do return value. This is honestly really, really stupid and like unnecessary function, but we can do local results is equal to return, and let's pass in dd, and then, oh shoot, I forgot to actually do something with that. And then we do print results, and then it should print what we passed in here, which would be dd. Let's see. And it did. So that is awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial from Caden Games. I really hope that this was helpful. If it was, make sure you do like and subscribe, as that does help out a lot. Let me know in the comments any questions you have and videos that you'd like me to do. And I think next time we'll be learning about scope, and then we got loops to do, and we've got tons of other things like math functions and everything like that. So I hope you have a great night. Merry Christmas, everyone, and I will see you next time.